यमुना जी केवल एक नदी नहीं है, ये भारत की आध्यात्मिक और आर्थिक शक्ति का प्रतीक है। इन आपदा वालों की लुटिया यमुना जी में ही डूबेगी।
तुम जनता को मारोगे क्या? दिल्ली की जनता को तुम जहर का पानी मिलाओगे और केजरीवाल आवाज उठाएगा तो डराओगे कि केस कर देंगे? कर दोगे?
5 साल पहले यमुना जी का पानी पीने की बात कर रहे थे। जैसे मोदी जी झूठ बोलते हैं वैसे केजरीवाल जी झूठ बोलते हैं। क्या केजरीवाल जी मोदी जी से भी ज्यादा चला?
Welcome to News9's special broadcast on the Delhi election, and today Nabila joins me on the special broadcast.
Thanks very much. Excited to be part of this high-stakes battle right here on News9. We bring you the most accurate coverage, and we know this is in a first, Kartikeya, a three-cornered contest. The AAP, the BJP and the Congress party. Voting has wound down now, barely half an hour to go. All eyes set on the exit polls, but I know you're all set to take us through a little bit of Delhi's politics, a little history into Delhi's politics.
Absolutely, Nabila. You see, if we look into the larger play of issues in Delhi, we have to understand that Delhi, one, is a truncated state. Second, in 2 stints, Delhi came into existence. In 1993, let me start with the fact that who were the chief ministers, and we'll come to know that, a lot of things have changed in Delhi. Now, for example, let's play that graphic. The first chief minister, Chaudhry Brahma Prakash of Congress, served from 52 to 55. Then Gurmukh Nihal Singh of Congress served from 1955 to 1956. Then Madan Lal Khurana went on to become the chief minister from 1993 to 1996, Bharatiya Janata Party. Then Sahib Singh Verma went on to become the chief minister from 1996 to 1998. Sushma Swaraj went on to become chief minister from 1998 October till December 1998, when she lost to Sheila Dikshit. And Sheila Dikshit, from December 1998 till 2013, she got 3 terms. Sheila Dikshit, 1998 she came to power, then 2003 she came to power, and then Sheila Dikshit again came to power in 2008. And then runaway stint of the Congress party ended. Arvind Kejriwal went on to become the chief minister with the support of the Congress party in 2013. And then Arvind Kejriwal went on to become the chief minister in 2015. He repeated himself in 2020 with a strong majority. Now Atishi Mardena is the chief minister because Kejriwal had to demit office in September 2024. So these are the people who have served Delhi. Atishi is the chief minister. Now, vote share. Just to understand historically where the vote share stood. If you look at the vote share of 1993, when Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister and decided that Delhi must become a state, Assembly must be revived, BJP got 49 seats, Congress got 14 seats, BJP had 42.8% of vote and Congress had 34.5% of the vote. Now in 2003, situation changed. BJP got 35.2% and Congress got 48.1%. And let me tell you, it continued to be a reality for Bharatiya Janata Party for a long time. Because in 2008, BJP again got 36.34%, and under Sheila Dikshit, Congress got 40.3% of votes. In 2013, again Delhi changed for good. BJP got 34% vote, AAP got 29% vote, Congress got 24% vote. Now things were started to change for the electorate. In 2015, BJP got 3 seats with 32% of vote. AAP got 67 seats with 54.3% votes. Congress got 0 and 10%. And in 2020, BJP got 8 seats with 38.5%. AAP got 62 seats with 53.6%. And Congress got 0 seats with 4.3%. Which means that one, AAP is way ahead. Second, Bharatiya Janata Party in assembly election 20, 15, 13, 8, 3 has not crossed 40% in assembly election. And not to confuse our voters, I am not sharing Lok Sabha data. Because in Lok Sabha, Modi has been winning. I am keeping myself, Nabila, limited to the Vidhan Sabha and now the electorate, because after the partition, the Punjabis had this swing. वो कहा जाता है दिल्ली 7 बार बसी 7 बार उजड़ी. Now let's throw the data. And the data will tell you the picture that now the Purvanchalis constitute 26%, Muslims 14%, Paharis 14%, SC 12%, Punjabis 12%, Baniyas 7%. So we now know the caste dynamic and the regional dynamic has shifted in Delhi. Delhi is not a static place. Demographically and geographically, Delhi has changed. Now, but before we proceed further, why is this election important for AAP? I would like to frame this debate for our audience. Why? And I argue that this election, Nabila, is important to all of them. It's not as if it's important for Rahul Gandhi or Arvind Kejriwal. It's important for Bharatiya Janata Party, this election, because they are in Vanvas for 27 years.
It's a matter of survival, I think, for all three parties, if you ask.
Yes. For Rahul Gandhi, how can Congress afford to have a duck again? Because in any state where Congress has lost two subsequent elections, they don't come back to power. West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, I can just go on and go on, Two back-to-back elections, they are in a problem. Big problem. Then, and I wouldn't say that they will be lucky as they were in Madhya Pradesh and I would say Chhattisgarh. Even Gujarat is an example. Then, will middle class, another point of discussion, transcend from shaping the narrative to deciding who gets to become the chief minister? Will middle class budget and 8th pay commission get better of Delhi's electorate, or free electricity or water will do the trick for Aam Aadmi Party? Those are the two principal polls. And now comes the cake of the graphic, which means the graphic which really tells us, Nabila, how AAP has shaped up. Brijesh, now this is the polling booth share, vote share of 2020. Polling. Now in Jhuggi Jhopri cluster, these are the localities and the data is of the booth in these localities. In Jhuggi Jhopri clusters, in the polling booth, 97.5 went with AAP and 2.5% with BJP. In resettlement colonies, it's 90.4% with AAP and 9.1% BJP. Ajit, mixed settlement, 75% AAP, 24.8 BJP. Then, in others, 68.3 AAP, 31.2 BJP, unauthorized colony 63.4% AAP and 36.4 BJP. Professor Suresh, now here comes the real, I would say, the binary. In urban or rural villages, 61.8% AAP, 37.4 BJP. In planned settlements, 60% AAP, roughly 40% BJP. So BJP goes up here. And in regularized colony, 57.1% AAP and 42. So regularized colony, which is that regular upper middle class, the BJP goes up. And now this is a vote share by locality. Vote share by locality, 2020. Jhuggi Jhopri cluster, AAP gets 65.4% vote and BJP gets roughly 30% vote. In resettlement colony, AAP gets 62.5% vote and BJP gets 28.2% votes. Others 61 and 31.8, but in mixed settlement, again AAP is ahead with 58.3 and BJP 35.3. In unauthorized colony, AAP is 53.4 and BJP 39.6. In urban rural village, 52.2 is with AAP and 37.5 with BJP. In planned settlement, 51% AAP, 41% BJP. In regularized colony, it comes the closest. 50.5% AAP and 42.5% BJP. Let me introduce our guest. I'm joined by Brijesh Pandey, input editor, News9, Ajit Kejha, senior journalist, Professor K.G. Suresh, senior journalist who joins me, our former colleague. We have worked together, worked the footpaths of Little Delhi to cover important stories. Savio Rodriguez, senior journalist, K.V. Prasad, senior journalist, Neoma Gupta, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, and Prithvi Reddy, spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party. Nabila, what's your take?
Well, from the looks of it, it seems like the BJP has not left any stone unturned to ensure a victory this time, because it is high stakes battle. For the BJP being out of power for 27 years in the power center, it's a feeling that doesn't bode well with a party who are looked at as election warriors. So for this Delhi elections, I'd like to ask you, Ajit, if you could take us through a little on how you see this election in Delhi this time, with Prime Minister Modi himself campaigning hectically in the national capital. It seems like a direct fight between Kejriwal and Prime Minister Modi. Almost seemed like that, because BJP does not have a solid local face in that sense. There are faces, but not strong enough to bring the party to victory in the state. How would you read this election?
To begin with, I would argue that this is Arvind Kejriwal's toughest election. Mostly, I mean, we say this during most elections, but the fact that, it is more than 10 years anti-incumbency, and it's a double anti-incumbency. Why? Because now the AAP is not only in power in Delhi Assembly, but also in the local bodies, right? It just won the municipal elections. So there is a fair amount of anti-incumbency because there's no work in terms of infrastructure, especially in North Delhi, Northeast, Northwest, or areas where water, logs. So even if the AAP, as the data that was shown to us, it shows that there is a massive class polarization in Delhi. The middle and upper classes seem to be, the higher number of voters vote the BJP, whereas among the poor, the Joggi Jhopadiwalas, the various categories that were formed, massive support base of the AAP. But that seems to be changing given the
I was just saying, BJP has now come down to what the AAP has delivered in terms of freebies, quote unquote, if that's what they call it, social welfare schemes. AAP says it's social welfare, BJP says it's freebies. Now they've reworked on their own strategy for social welfare, similar to what AAP is offering. So do you believe the slum areas, or people who are considered as poor, in the poor category, are now shifting allegiance to BJP this time in this election?
Obviously, there is some shift, no doubt about that. And that is because, anywhere in the election, look at Mr. Modi's support base in the country. That also declined, right, in the last Lok Sabha election. Usually a 10-year period is a good period where anti-incumbency sets in. So obviously, look at Mr. Kejriwal himself. When he said that he's sure of 55 seats. Remember, last time he got 62, before that 67. So that means he himself is aware that his voter base is shifting. But there's one category which we didn't consider. I'm sure we have the numbers. It's the male versus female voters. And in that, the AAP has a 25% lead over the BJP. The last CSDS survey showed that 60% of the women voters vote AAP, whereas only about 45% vote BJP. So the difference between the BJP and AAP is about 25%. Now these are women voters coming from the Joggi Jhopadis. Now if they are shifting, then of course we would know. If this election, the BJP needs a critical election to beat the AAP.
Ajit, but if I may add to align to what Ajit is saying, that if you look at this entire statement of that 55, where he said that if we will going to win 55, but he added a rider that if women of Delhi forces the men to go out and vote, then we are going to surpass a better election. 60 plus. There is also hinging his hopes on the women. But there is also a difference. In 2013, 2015, 2020, Arvind Kejriwal was the underdog of the election. So there was a sympathy which was working for him. This time around, I don't know how that has panned out with so many other issues of corruption, him being in jail. Let me straight away go to Neoma Gupta, and then Prithvi Reddy can respond, the spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party. Neoma, 27 years not in power.
Yes. And it's over, chapter over. Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me on your debate. Today I think across all constituencies and polling stations, we are seeing a lot of enthusiasm amongst many voters who desire a change in Delhi. And I'm confident that BJP will win the trust of the people this time, because we ran a concerted booth level plus overreaching campaign. We addressed the issues of the people. We gave a manifesto which reflected what Delhi needs. We looked after the interest of all sections and did not make a single promise which we will not keep or will not be able to keep. Unlike AAP, we didn't resort to desperate promises at the end time. And I'm sure this time BJP is forming the government in Delhi with full majority. And the city will now fully benefit from the schemes and programs of the central government, which were stopped by Mr. Kejriwal. In fact, we will double down on things like PM Swanidhi, the Ayushman Bharat and everything. Please understand, tell me what the AAP's so-called work and development model has been. All their campaign has been on, was fear, creating caste and religious divisions, stoking tensions in society, pitting states of the union against each other, And while we were running a ground campaign that cut across all sections of political and social things, in fact, we reached out to everyone and told them about all the schemes which are necessary. In fact, ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't know your name. Please, could you repeat your name?
Are you talking about me, Nabila here?
Yes. Okay, sorry, I didn't get your name at the first round.
Yeah.
We were talking about, the schemes. Let me tell you the most important one that will explain multiple things, that why Mr. Modi used the term bravery for freebies even by multiple parties in different states. The key difference is intent, which means that the Jan Kalyan schemes have to include both the monetary support as well as policies to ensure economic growth. I mean, if you look at the schemes of the central government, I'll just name 3-4 for you. Whether it's the PM Swanidhi, the Stand Up India, the Vishwakarma scheme, or as a matter of fact, the Smile scheme, which was one of the brilliant schemes that provides medical facilities and counseling for transgenders. So that is a fundamental difference between their schemes and us, just to put in perspective.
Okay. Prithvi, are you guys coming back? Please unmute yourself. Can you please unmute yourself? Mr. Reddy, you have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yes.
So my question is, are you coming back? I think this is the toughest election.
Yeah.
Ajit rightly summed up for Kejriwal.
So, I was saying, from all the feedback we've got from the ground, all indicators show that we are not just coming back, we are at a very similar figure of 60 plus minus something. The BJP person must remember that the polling, the gates for the polling stations are now closed, so there's no need for any of the bhashans. What they tend to forget is over the past 10 years, 15 lakh children have passed out of Delhi government schools. Now, even if you were to assume 3 or 4 voters in their families, we will once again get that 50+% of vote and a 60+% of seats. I'm not going to, now since the polling is over, I'm not going to get into, our schemes, etc., because people have seen experience. And I think that's where the BJP has a challenge, because during this elections, what they call freebies were the exact same thing. In fact, they offered a little more. They tried to offer a little more. But the voter of Delhi was clever enough to say, well, if you're offering the women 2,500 rupees per month, why haven't you done it in the 20 other states where you are in power? So I think the voter of Delhi has on one side a proven model, and on the other side, someone who is trying very hard to establish a foothold in Delhi for the past 27 years.
All right. Well, if I could, in fact, bring in KG Suresh, who's with me right here in the studios. Suresh, we heard what the BJP spokesperson said, that there is a difference between social welfare schemes and freebies. How do you believe the BJP was distinct in that sense? From what I see here, the Ladli Behna scheme that was offered in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, similarly offered in Delhi as well. Same to what Aam Aadmi Party has also done, 2,100 for all women. How has BJP claimed to be different this time?
Well, absolutely. You see, the Delhi voter, Nabila, has always been very smart. When it came to Lok Sabha elections, he would vote a particular political party, and when it comes to the assembly elections, his priorities are different, City-based issues are more important for him. And let's be very fair. If somebody is actually going for freebies in a big way, then if you want to make a dent, certainly you will also have to come with freebies. You are not dealing with a very egalitarian elite voter. You are dealing with people who are in need, who are, in the marginalized sector. So obviously, if you want to, you cannot be talking about, lofty ideals before them.
True.
So I would say that certainly, yes, this country needs a debate. And for that, a political consensus has to be reached. You need all political parties to come on board and talk about, the difference between freebies and the welfare schemes. That has to be there. That's for some other time. But as of this elections, I think that it's a matter of survival. All the 3 political parties
have,
when
put
someone
everything
speaks
at
of freebies,
stake.
I'm from the south, and it reminds me of the times of Jayalalitha.
Oh yes, the
who
television,
would, right?
the free televisions, the gold which used
Fan,
to be given in the
cooker, laptops, those in my
but
eyes.
Please remember that election when people DMK distributed color televisions, and watching DMK's actions on color television, the same population voted it out.
True.
So the voter is smart. Let's not, get misconceived notions that the voter would be misguided by all these doles. He is smart enough. He will take the benefit certainly, but he will vote for his choice.
Right. We also have Savio Rodriguez, who's also joining us. Yes, Savio, if you can hear me, your quick take. Yes, sir. Your quick take on the high stakes battle here in Delhi, and why do you believe that Delhi's election results will have a national impact? Why is it important for the rest of us, the rest of the country?
Thank you, Nabila and Karthikeya, for having invited me to this wonderful discussion with a wonderful panel. It's lovely to have an interaction with intellectual people, though we might have different political points of view. I personally feel, having traveled around in Delhi over the last month and a half, that whoever is going to win the elections will win the elections by a majority. That majority will be anywhere between 40 to 45 seats. The second will be somebody that will get somewhere between 22 to 25 or 26 seats. And then there will be the third runner that might be about 3 or 4 seats. Now, the real crux of this battle in Delhi is going to boil down to the lower middle class women. They are going to be the deciding factor on who is actually going to win the elections. And to be brutally honest about that, at this point of time, it is the Aam Aadmi Party that has an advantage as far as the lower middle class women are concerned. But having said that, I think all the political parties are really put in a front foot as far as election campaigning is going, as far as fierce battle to win Delhi, because it's important as a state and it's important to capture the capital as far as political upmanship is concerned. But I think the concept of freebies, which has been doled out by all of them, is something of a disease that we suffer in this country at this point of time. And at some point of time, we need to be able to understand that we need to eradicate this, because primarily we are here not to feed people the fish, but we need to teach them how to fish. And that's probably coming from the concept that just like that they say, the praja is just like the raja. It's the same kind of thing, where the king and the people, the king behaves the way the people want them to behave. So yes, there are certain people across the country that believe that in getting a certain amount of benefit from the government, and therefore they take it. There's a certain class of people. I don't see anything wrong in that, but it's not building a healthy society. So for Delhi to be like that, and the number of people in Delhi, while you have lower middle class people as well, people who live in jhopadis and people who live in elite houses, they too have the Atmavishwas and the confidence to be able to be socially, economically viable. So at some point of time, we have to empower them to be economically strong on their own and not really be about freebies. But that's a choice the political parties have to make, because that's a decision that they take. So for us at this point of time, I think Delhi by far is the most exciting elections that we've seen in recent times, primarily because the voter is going to be brutal as far as who it's going to select.
Okay, Mr. Reddy, I'll come to you because we need to get KV Prasad in the discussion. Very patient. Mr. Prasad, you have covered the election of 1993. I think a lot of water has flown under the bridge since then, from the days of Madan Lal Khurana, Sahib Singh Bharwa. Now Parvesh Verma is in politics. In terms of demography, Delhi has changed. Its geography, it's become bigger. There's a national capital territory. BJP's vote share, the data which we have shown, has not gone beyond 40%, 44% in Delhi election. Now the talk is that there might be a swing because of the budget when it comes to the middle class. My question to you is, what constitutes Delhi's middle class? What is Delhi's middle class?
Well, Kartike, we can't bind middle class in any particular segment, I would say, because we are here looking in the economic category. Because traditionally, if you looked at, you talked of 92 onwards, I've looked at even the Metropolitan Council elections in Delhi before. Essentially, Bharatiya Janata Party's once upon a time strong base was the Punjabi community. It was essentially known to be a party which came from Punjab, the Jansangh inheritor or the successor party. Gradually, they increased their base. But over the last few years, a few successive elections in Delhi, we've noticed that Punjabi Vaish community, which was a strong supporter of Bharatiya Janata Party, when it came to Delhi elections, they moved over, probably switched over to AAP. I don't know in terms of exact numbers, but you had enough numbers for them to add up to the basic core base, enough to tilt the scales for the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, that is one area. Middle classes continue to be an important component because Delhi is a city of, we have a mixed bag of people who work here in the central government, people who work in the state governments, people who migrate to Delhi, come here for work and go back, vice versa. So I think middle classes do constitute a bulk of the city's voter base. And the Aam Aadmi Party, which rose to office in 2013 and then more successfully in 2015, was on the back of this middle class, which had firmly backed Sheila Dikshit for 3 successive terms. That Congress, that lost that huge chunk. Now we have noticed in the last few years, in fact, the Aam Aadmi Party has lost some section of this middle class vote or disenchanted with them. And that is the aim which the BJP is looking to gain back.
Okay, let me play out a couple of buys that have come, Pravesh Verma, Arvind Kejriwal, then I'll go to Brijesh Pandey and talk about, Brijesh, yes, this is the toughest election for Arvind Kejriwal, but this election was fought for and against Arvind Kejriwal. How did it pan out? Because BJP didn't have a face, but after we play out some of the bites.
जाहिर तौर पे जो काम करेंगे उन्हीं को जनता वोट देगी।
मैम आपसे जानना चाहेंगे, आपने भी जमकर चुनाव प्रचार किया है, कितने आश्वस्त है, क्या कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? आप वोट लेकर आ गए। भाई ऊपर रहो। दिल्ली के लोग बहुत समझदार हैं, बहुत समझदार हैं और उन पर पूरा विश्वास है और वो गुंडागर्दी नहीं बर्दाश्त करते, तो पूरा विश्वास है दिल्ली के लोग सही चुनाव करेंगे।
मोदी जी के साथ में मिलकर दिल्ली में एक ऐसी सरकार बनेगी जो सारे मोदी जी के विजन को लेकर आएगी, सारे उनके स्कीम्स को लेकर आएगी। आयुष्मान योजना है, हमारी महिला समृद्धि योजना है, किसानों की समस्याएं हैं, यमुना मैया की समस्या है, दिल्ली में प्रदूषण की समस्या है, हजारों काम करते हैं। दिल्ली में लाखों बेरोजगार बच्चे हैं, वो सभी को नौकरी देने की बात है। दिल्ली में सारे झुग्गी झोपड़ी वालों को उनका वहीं पर जहां पर वो रहते, जैसे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा, कोई भी झुग्गी नहीं तोड़ी जाएगी, उनको उसी स्थान पर मकान देने की बात है जहां पर वो बैठे हैं।
I think people will vote for a developed Delhi. People should vote for a good candidate, whoever meets his or her aspirations. Today I will not speak about one party or another because I am also a citizen. I am also a voter. I have also voted for a candidate that I think is best for Jangpura, which is where I am staying, and I hope people will vote for the person who is best for their area. मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि हर आदमी वोट करे, उसके लिए वोट करे जो कैंडिडेट उनको लगता है कि उनकी आकांक्षाओं अपेक्षाओं में साथ बैठेगा, उस पार्टी के लिए वोट करे जिसकी सरकार दिल्ली को एक बेहतर दिल्ली बना पाएगी।
Brijesh, your comments, because this election campaign was about Arvind Kejriwal, it was up against Arvind Kejriwal. Will it work in favor of him or will it work against him? Because the man who started this anti-corruption campaign in this election for the first time was accused of being corrupt.
Well, Kartike, let me start by saying this thing that, why people are saying that, that election is important for 2-party, 3-party. Let's be very clear. It's a make or break election for Arvind Kejriwal. Okay. If Arvind Kejriwal loses, if Aam Aadmi Party loses, and the way then what the BJP call the wheels of justice will move post that, with the sanction coming from MHA, I think it's going to be dark days ahead for.
Did you say wheels of justice?
Yeah, I mean, what the BJP said, I said like within
quote
quotes,
unquote?
Quote unquote.
Okay.
So that is going to be there. So, for other parties, it may be an important election to win. For BJP, it is important to end a drought of 26 years. For Congress, it is very, very important to register some sort of presence in the national capital. But for Aam Aadmi Party, it is going to be a make or break election. because they have to win at all costs to stay relevant, and they have to win at all costs to make sure that that the party unit remains intact. The government in Punjab also, loss in Delhi will have a cascading effect in the government of Punjab also, and that is the reason why the Aam Aadmi party is fighting an election like never before. For Bharatiya Janata Party, if you go by the figure that Purvanchalis have 26% and they now constitute the largest voter bank share, the BJP has experimented with everything, from making Manoj Tiwari a well-known Purvanchali face.
But in this entire thing, the scales are also uneven. The drawing room conversation when people say कि अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की 5 भी कम आ जाएंगी तो सरकार बन जाएगी, और अगर आपकी 5 भी ज्यादा आएंगी तो वो फिर टिक भी नहीं पाएगी.
That is there. See, you have to understand that this is apart from the fact that now you see an election commission or the Delhi police are doing a large number of raids and cash and other things, paraphernalia being seized. The fact is that if you look at the last 2 elections, the BJP fought the election like this only. We have Amit Shah who was, being who took the reins of fighting election in Delhi. And we remember at that point of time it was also Parliament. And I saw Gajendra Singh Shekhawat walking, and I said, like, boss, looked like you didn't get to sleep. And he went on and says, hey, boss, I'm just coming back from the meeting. At 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. So BJP fought those elections also like, that like this is the end of the world, but they didn't win. So I think, this time, I think this is the best chance for the BJP to shore up their number. Best chance. Because the sheen of anti-corruption has been dented. Now you have seen that how Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, Satyendra Jain, they have been all bundled behind bars for a long time. Now there's a CAG report, there's a liquor thing which is going on. So that sheen of anti-corruption has been broken. And I personally
will that turn into sympathy for AAP?
Well, I would just take 1 minute and I would say...
in an ideal situation, they would have been mighty hit by anti-incumbency.
No, I agree. I completely agree with you.
But considering that 4 of the top leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party were jailed on allegations that haven't yet been proven, with the Supreme Court intervening saying that they should be let out because bail is their right, do you think it has shown BJP more vindictive than a player?
It was a mix of both. It was a mix of both, because what the parties, say Aam Aadmi Party or Congress was able to do was to, based on the figures which were released in the Lok Sabha, they were able to point out the fact that ED and CBI, the number of cases which were filed against leaders in opposition parties and the number of cases which were filed against people in the government or the NDA alliance partner, there was a huge difference, well, a 90-10 kind of a difference. So they were able to convince the electorate that yes, it's a vindictive agency. But I think, you have to also understand the election is basically, apart from all the economic jargon we throw and, we do a detailed discussion between the revenues and the welfare schemes and all. The election is primarily fought between the haves and the have-nots. And I think the have-nots are the one which power any electorate, any party to a major win. If you remember 2014, when 17 election was being fought in Uttar Pradesh, where the BJP broke all the records and came to power on its own. One of the key factor which was the DBT benefit and the Ujjwala gas scheme, which were, and these are the haves. As we were just discussing before the start of the show, the haves usually do not come out and vote like, voting is their right. The have-nots do. And that is what makes them the real politically potent forces. That is the reason why, after election, we may all sing peals of virtues of, how it is going to be ruinous for the economic policy and all. They know that to win, they have to adhere to it.
Well, so, the BJP has got a taste of it with Maharashtra.
Absolutely.
In terms of the social welfare schemes that they offered, they had a landslide victory. But if I could bring in the BJP spokesperson Naomi Gupta on this. Naomi, we know that Prime Minister Modi, the BJP will not want to be Neoma, I beg your pardon, Neoma. We know that the BJP Prime Minister Modi won't want to be trounced the 3rd time around by Arvind Kejriwal. And if he does, then he will be seen as a formidable force. Arvind Kejriwal will possibly even supersede or leave behind Rahul Gandhi to be the main contender to Prime Minister Modi. Why do you think the BJP has not been able to breach Delhi? Why has Delhi been out of reach for your party, which is known to be war machines when it comes to electioneering?
Page out of what Kartikeya sir was initially explaining to us, which is the brief history of Delhi, which was very interesting because I didn't know a lot of facts. If you go into the brief history of Mr. Kejriwal, he started out with the anti-corruption movement. He projected himself in that domain. But if you see that, he's transformed that very system and sought it to a different level. I mean, look at it. He came out and said, I'm going to, never have the VIP syndrome. And then in 2013, you even signed an affidavit saying that you won't take a bungalow and fancy cars. You were completely against the VIP culture. Today, you have spent more than approximately 50 crores on the Sheesh Mahal. Then you come and say that you will never shake hands with the Congress. You come over here because of political opportunity and tie hands with the Congress, come yourself as a power that you want to fight against BJP, then you break hands with them. So there's a lot of conflicting lacunas in the ideology and the walk Mr. Kejriwal takes. And these breaks also show the massive failure in governance for Delhi. I mean, today we are breathing an AQI of approximately 340, 400. Look at the conditions of the roads of Delhi. Just look at Delhi. Does it live up to being the capital of India? No, I don't think so at all. So all these fundamental differences, keeping the history of how he started to where he is enough for him to lose the election today, because a Delhiite is an informed voter, a very intelligent voter. So I'm sure they've seen through this just like most of us have seen through it. And just sorry to step further, the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson had told me that the election voting time is over and not to give bhashan. So this is a matter of my opinion, and I would request you not to make comments like this. Please stick to the profile of the debate.
Let me bring in Prithvi. In fact, he's been wanting to make a point. Yeah, go on, jump in.
Right. So I'm going to respond to some of the things that were said by various people on the show. Firstly, Mr. Savio mentioned the word freebies and whether this was good or bad. We spent about 50% of our budget on education and health care. World over, in the most developed countries, education and healthcare is free. So I think we need to discuss that economic model completely we need a lot more time, so we will discuss that on another debate. Mr. Pandey did mention that this is a very important election for AAP.
Sorry, Prithvi, Karthik, I'm really sorry. I'll give you the chance, but there's a bit of a breaking news that has come in, and it's for that breaking news we have all assembled here. This is the first exit poll that has come, and then you can respond to it. You can add this exit poll to your answer. The exit poll matrix says BJP is 35 to 40 seats, Congress is 0 to 1, AAP is 30 to 37. This is the first exit poll that has come. BJP 35 to 40, Congress 0 to 1, and AAP 32 to 37. Mr. Reddy, you can continue with your response. You can answer what Nabila asked you. Yeah.
Sure. So, Mr. Pandey was mentioning how important this election is for AAP. I think it's important for AAP. There's no discussion on the matter at all, but not because our leaders or Kejriwal is likely to go to jail. It's a question of whether politics and elections can be fought on issue-based matters and whether delivery is going to play a role. I think that's why it's important, because it will set a certain trend for upcoming elections. As far as the exit polls...
just precisely on that, seems like the scale is tilting.
Not at all. Let me just remind you very quickly that we were given 0 by the exit polls in 2013, we got 28. We were given 5 to 8 and we got 67 in 2015. We were given about 25 in 2020 and we went on to get 62. So I believe one of the spokesperson was also mentioning the lower income voters are not very...
Prithvi, I'm really sorry. This has happened when you were speaking. Now the C voter data has also come. Let's play out the C voter data. The C voter data is telling us that the Bharatiya Janata Party is getting 39 to 45 seats. This is JVC. Congress 0 to 2 and Aam Aadmi Party 22 to 31. I think, Ajit, with your stint in psephology, and I have to make this point. Sorry, you're the odd person out. You are the only person who has been trained. And with all the big wigs, we can quote, trained with people, worked with people who called the election of 1984 to so on and so forth. What do you make of these two data? Because we were together when the Haryana data came out. So with that little reality check which all journalists underwent, what do you make of this data? Do you think that this big shift is happening?
Well, let's stick to the data and let's assume for the sake of the debate that both the data are right. Right? See, what is happening, the BJP in the last 28 years could not break out of the trap of 30, or sometimes people call it the trap of 32. The BJP seats never increased beyond 32. In both these exit polls that you see, the average, take the matrice, the average is about 38 between 35 and 40. And in the second one, 39 to 45, the average is almost like 42, 43, which means the BJP has broken out of the trap of 30. That trap of 32. Last 28 years, it hadn't been able to do, number one. Number two, which also means the gap between the BJP and the AAP was a good 15% in 2020. Correct. Now, to break that 15%, normally you need a critical election or you need a massive movement. If the BJP has done it without a massive movement in Delhi and without a critical election, because the turnout figures have not come. Generally in critical elections, turnout should be 70% plus. We don't know. That means there is a miracle that the BJP has done through sheer campaign. We've heard about the RSS doing several meetings like Maharashtra, right? Figures were thrown, I think Brijesh will correct me, 5,000 or more such meetings in the Jhumgi Jhopri colonies, in Northwest, in Northeast, in North Delhi and other parts of Delhi. This is the area where, you know, the Muslims, the Dalits and the other voters are very big in number.
But you know, Ajit, RSS is far stronger in Haryana than in Delhi. You see, in Delhi it can be loud, more vociferous and more pronounced, but the sort of shakhas that are held in other states is different. Like for example, in the discussion you had, Arun was there, Arun Anand, he very categorically pointed this out. But Suresh, does it mean that people at large have come out and voted for BJP if this data is correct? Because for political party to transcend that 10%, it requires a surge.
15%.
15%, okay? 10 to 15% requires a surge. If this surge is correct, what explains the surge in your analysis?
Well, first of all, Kartikeya, I think we need the exact data about the voter turnout, which is expected any time.
57% as of 5 p.m. So
you don't expect maybe
not
a 1 or 2%.
Number.
So certainly not a very encouraging number in the sense that particularly for anti-incumbency, because a high voting percentage is always considered good for anti-incumbency, you know, particularly by the opposition. So I don't see that. And also let us remember one thing. Both BJP and Aam Aadmi start with an advantageous position. BJP because it's a cadre-based party, so it has a cadre, whatever percentage it is. And certainly the minorities for Aam Aadmi party, certainly, you know, it is a solid vote bank with which they are starting from point 1, point 0, you know, they don't have to. Unlike the Congress, which doesn't have either a cadre or it doesn't have a captive vote bank.
What a shame,
so
right?
That is one thing.
For a party that governed Delhi for that long.
Absolutely. So in that sense, certainly, I believe that honestly there are only two main contenders. The third one is certainly playing for some dignified presence, which it hopes to make.
Correct.
But so far as the Aam Aadmi and BJP is concerned, I think it's early days.
I'm really stunned by the numbers. If BJP is sweeping this election, then it's amazing without an
again,
actual
Nabila, as I said, we need to check whether...
Just 1 point.
I'm not calling the election yet. I'm not calling the election.
Just 30 seconds.
I think nothing should stun us after Haryana. One.
Sorry, 30 seconds.
Sure, please go ahead.
You know, there's one peculiarity about Delhi, and that is the floating voter. When we talk about, you know, BJP winning Lok Sabha and AAP winning Vidhan Sabha, it's basically between 17 to 25% of the voters, they flip their vote. Now, it's possible that 17 to 25% last minute, if the exit poll is right, have flipped back to the BJP like the Lok Sabha.
Okay, sure. We'll continue with this. It's time for a short break. You know, a lot of reactions have come. We'll be back. And there are two more exit poll data to be shared, but after a short break.
सर दिल्ली में नहीं आई, आपका भाजपा में आई है।
जो बेईमान होता है वही अपने आप को सर्टिफिकेट देता है।
Associate sponsor, New Virtus GT Line, style to wander.
Mama must be missing us now.
Let's take it one day, give me one day. Feel the itch under my skin, it's a fun day. You been like it when you see we are done, hey. It doesn't matter, just gotta get going.
New GT Line, Tygoon and Virtus. Volkswagen.
It's decision time in Delhi.
Will BJP return to power after 26 years?
Can Aam Aadmi Party beat the odds and gain a fourth term?
Will the Congress finally be able to reverse its fortunes in these polls?
An existential battle for all three parties right here in the national capital.
Have freebies, corruption and toxic Yamuna set the narrative?
What's the Aam Aadmi's mood in Delhi?
Polls in Delhi, but national impact.
All angles on the Delhi votes covered here.
Covered right here.
Covered here
at News9.
One look and I'm falling for you like crazy. Boom, boom. Every heartbeat is only for you. Every breath, every moment with you.
Shall we do it again?
My heart goes boom.
Unlimited Love. Bookings open on 14th February.
Well, welcome back. Well, from the numbers that we see of the exit poll trends, it's certainly shocking. But to tell our viewers how exactly exit polls are done, right after voting, there are surveyors who take responses from people who've just cast their vote. So it's basically just a sense that they gather on where the wind swings, but not a conclusive. These results are, at least from what we see here, numbers here are not conclusive, but yet shows us which way the state is leaning.
Sometimes exit polls don't get it right. As you know, last time when we tried to decipher Haryana, it's also the sample size. Sample size is very important. And secondly, I still remember when we were deciphering Haryana, it was not only about sample size, it was also about the way questionnaire is conducted and the way it is analyzed. The way it is analyzed. So it's a very detailed process. Before Neuma and Prithvi leave us, a quick comment from both of them. Neuma Gupta, to you first and then to Prithvi, about these couple of exit polls that have come.
I love the exit polls. I love the samples which are taken. So good sampling wherever it happened. And very honestly, I maintain that BJP really ran a good campaign and cut across all social and political lines. And we reached out to everyone. I mean, whether we spoke about Atal Canteen, Ayushman Bharat, everything. We told them the advantages of having BJP. And today, an average Delhiite, I'm a Delhiite, I have two kids who want clean air to go and run outside. So if we are just gasping for breath on that, so obviously we want a change in government, a government which never cared. So great exit polls. I love it. I love it.
I don't think you will call them great, but nonetheless.
It is going to go up.
Okay. Prithvi.
Yeah, I hope the BJP spokesperson doesn't forget the exit polls for the Lok Sabha. It's a little strange for me because the opinion polls all were showing in one direction, a 50 plus seat for the Aam Aadmi Party. Normally, having done a lot of surveys myself and having some experience, I can only tell you the sample size and the demographic randomization that happens in opinion polls are much more reliable than exit polls. I would also like to add a rider that the Aam Aadmi Party's voter normally from the lower income classes are afraid to speak, and this could be one of the reasons why the exit polls are showing the results that are being displayed. I only hope the exuberance that the spokesperson has shown will last beyond the 8th.
Okay, a quick take from Savio and KB. Savio first to you and then KB. Again, it's time for a break, We need to kind of take a lot of breaks. Savio, to you.
So, personally, I really don't hold much value to exit polls or opinion polls, both of them. But what I do certainly understand that the dynamics of the voters, like I said, and I'm repeating myself again, and this is based on conversations with people across political parties, and I'm confident that whoever's winning this election is winning the election by getting between 40 to 45 seats. But at this point of time, while the exit polls are showing BJP as the ones that are probably going to win it, we cannot say for certain until the final day of counting. So whoever's going to win it is going to win it between 40 to 45. The second is going to be between 20 to 25. And the third is going to be between 0 to 4.
Mr. Prasad.
Yeah, Karthikeya, I think as a skeptical as we are as part of our journalistic career, there's not just a pinch but a whole bag full of salt that I take these results always. I can push you back to 2015 Bihar election. The exit polls show something else and the final results show something. Fast forward 2024 national elections, fair enough. Then we come to the Haryana, which you and I were talking a little while ago. There are many issues that probably somebody like Jha would explain. The sample size closes probably at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The polling would stretch up to 7:30. And we have seen in the last few elections, the numbers of voters and the percentage shoots up towards the end. How do you account for all that? I really don't know. I'm not a mathematician, nor am I into the job of psephology or the critical statistic analysis. But there are very many questions. I don't think the Indian psephologists have got it right. In fact, I was discussing with an American friend after the Trump election. The first thing I said, our psephologists got it all wrong. Congratulations, you join our bandwagon.
Okay. Sample size, I suppose, is not wide. That's what leads to an error with exit polls or opinion polls. Normally, Ajit could probably tell us, but we'll come back to you. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back with a lot more on the exit poll numbers, which currently show a sweep for the BJP, a first if they come to win after 27 years. So this will be a huge boost for the party. Not calling the elections as yet. Things could turn. But we'll get Ajit's opinion on how far could we really rely on these exit polls right after a short break. Stay with us.
आपदा वालों को भगाना है, इस बार भाजपा सरकार बनाना है।
आपदा दिल्ली में नहीं आई, आपदा भाजपा में आई।
जो बेईमान होता है वही अपने आप को सर्टिफिकेट देता है।
And I'm falling for you like crazy, crazy. Oh, boom, boom. Every heartbeat is only for you. Every breath, every moment with you. My heart goes boom, boom.
Unlimited Life. Bookings open on 14th February.
Has AAP got so tarnished that it can't gain a fourth term?
Will Delhi voters give BJP a chance after 26 years?
Which way did the poor and the middle class vote?
Can Congress reverse its fortunes in the capital?
What issues is Delhi voting for in this election?
What does the Delhi verdict mean for the nation? Our team here breaks it down for you like no one else.
Stay with News9.
Stay with News9.
Stay ahead with News9
for the most informed debates.
Unmissable updates.
For the most accurate coverage.
We made history for a reason tonight.
Will it change the shape of American foreign policy? Violence has erupted in Manipur once again. how can we pass judgment, sir, before any inquiry that, they were volunteers or militants, sir?
आपदा वालों को भगाना है। इस बार भाजपा सरकार बनाना है।
आपदा दिल्ली में नहीं आई, आपदा भाजपा में आई है।
जो बेईमान होता है वही अपने आप को सर्टिफिकेट देता है।
Welcome back. Well, as we see here, exit poll numbers showing a clear win for the BJP. It's not even a cut-to-cut or a close contest as we see here. As per exit polls, it shows a clean sweep for the BJP.
Oh yes, not only a clean sweep, but there are other 3 exit polls waiting in the wing. Let's fire them. 3 exit polls have come: PMark, People's Pulse and Political Diary. So this is PMark. It gives Bharatiya Janata Party 39 to 49, Congress 0 and AAP 21 to 31. Let's go to another exit poll, People's Pulse. 51 to 60 Bharatiya Janata Party, a duck to Congress, and 10 to 19 Aam Aadmi Party. And this tells us the big story. With poll diary saying 42 to 50 Bharatiya Janata Party, Congress 0 to 2 and Aam Aadmi Party 18 to 25. So we have shown you Matrice, JVC, PMark, People's Pulse, poll diary. 5 exit polls have come out, couple of other exit polls will come out. Now let's go to Ajit. Ajit, I know the detail of the data is not available. These are the basic numbers. But we analyze the basic numbers. If we take a mean, it means that the Bharatiya Janata Party is over 38 to 40 seats. What does it tell us? Is there a big vote jump? And has the Jhuggi Jhopadi cluster vote bank been cracked by BJP after 27 years?
Look, Karthikeya, I was taught in my college not to trust my opinion, but numbers. So I'll go by the numbers.
Okay.
If the numbers are telling us, of course, recent as we discussed, exit polls have had a bad name. But exit polls have certain advantages which we haven't pointed out. Number one advantage, it is held exactly at the point when the voter has voted.
Correct.
Whereas pre-polls are held 2 months in advance, 3 months in advance, the voter might change their mind, number one. Number two, generally exit poll samples are very large. In this case, unfortunately, we don't know the numbers, but exit poll numbers can be as high as, like we had done in Lok Sabha, if you remember, 1 crore. Sometimes it can be 1 lakh. Sometimes it can be, 40, 50,000, which is a very large sample size. So the problem is randomization, because the typical randomization that you do in pre-polls is not possible in exit poll. You might just count every 20th voter coming out and then talk to him.
What you really think worked for Bharatiya Janata Party, where the numbers and the idiom of politics blend? What worked? Something works, something ticks. Like, for example, bad candidates of Congress Party in Haryana, the micromanagement by Bharatiya Janata Party, I think it worked. What do you think ticked for BJP? I think we have to see from that perspective also.
I feel, number one, the BJP's campaign sort of hit Kejriwal on his head on the issue of corruption, number one. On the issue that he hasn't done much in terms of infrastructure. The fact that 10 years he has been in power, and you know that certain areas in Delhi are still waterlogged, roads have potholes, all that is very visible. There was an anti-incumbency, it might be silent. The BJP worked micromanaged. You see what happened, if you remember, if you take the 2020 last election figures, 21 of those seats the BJP had lost with just 5,000 votes. These are marginal seats. So the BJP is very clever in micromanaging those seats.
Correct.
If 21 seats you focus and you work on that, all you need is 2,500, 2,600 voters need to switch, assuming that the turnout is not going high. And BJP, of course, is also very good in getting newer voters. Plus, the middle class must have shifted. This budget,
which Bharatiya Janata Party, Nabila, did in Maharashtra.
Yeah.
If you look at the voter rolls which were created and subsequently got politicized in Lok Sabha, basically BJP reached out to new voters.
Yeah.
other political parties did, but the volume with which the BJP reached out was far bigger than other political parties.
Surely, and from my observation here is that people were frustrated with the Aam Aadmi Party. Towards the end, it's not love for the BJP, I see, it's more frustration for the AAP. BJP seen as a great next choice. To see the Yamuna River contamination, to see the kind of pollution levels in the city, to constantly live with it for 10 years is not easy on anyone. And Delhiites have decided to make that change as per the exit polls. I'm going to, add this caveat every time I say this. But at the end of it, as we see there, if I could bring in KV Prasad as well. Mr. KV Prasad, your take on the exit poll numbers. We see that the BJP has managed to sweep without an actual face for the party in the state. It's been Prime Minister Modi all the way who's been campaigning, nearly 30 odd rallies that the party held. Prime Minister himself hammering down on the Sheesh Mahal issue, on the liquor gate issue, on polluted Yamuna, on polluted air, on the crumbling infrastructure, and just the fact that Arvind Kejriwal, who came in as an anti-corruption crusader, eventually is now dubbed as a man who's corrupt. Though allegations haven't been proven, but BJP has been successful in driving that message home.
Well, if the numbers are what they show up, obviously all these issues that you counted are the ones which have swung the balance in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party, so the exit poll tell us. But let us not forget, to answer your first question or the first observation, the Bharatiya Janata Party has in the last 10 years, I think, gone into elections state after state without a face. That has been the trait of the Bharatiya Janata Party. In Delhi, if you cut back to 2015, they tried to project, I think in 2013, it was Dr. Harshvardhan, a Delhi politician who was there, but he couldn't make it. Then 2015, I think Kiran Bedi was brought into the fray, but the party did badly. Since then, if you look at Delhi, BJP has never gone with a face, and so has been the case here. Look at Maharashtra, they didn't really go with the face because, of course, they were in coalition and Shinde was in power. Look at Karnataka. They changed the guard 2 years closer to the elections. So other states, we look at Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh. So that has been the BJP in the last 10, 11 years. That has been the trend. As for the issues, yes, these are the issues the BJP hammered on because they had to chip off the Aam Aadmi Party's USP. The USP, of course, as we all know, was the anti-corruption plank they wrote into office. And that was the big dent the BJP was constantly hammering on. Plus, also attacking on the simplicity or the Aam Aadmi traits of Arvind Kejriwal by constantly focusing on his opulent lifestyle, quote within quote, Sheesh Mahal episode. So they were trying to actually chip away blocks, a slice of pie, or as they call it, gradually taking away votes from the support base of BJP, support base of Aam Aadmi Party. It was a very, very methodical thing. But as I said, all these caveats, as you say, these are the exit polls.
No, absolutely.
If the exit polls prove.
BJP has built the momentum all the way from the time of the riots that happened in Delhi at that point as well. That frustration that started to build and develop within Delhi, people of Delhi, residents of Delhi. It's in a way ultimately come down to these numbers. Yet again, waiting for the actual result. Can't entirely rely on this, but this clearly shows a sway. Even if not, say hypothetically, if these numbers are entirely false, the BJP at least seems to have picked up large margins. At least that's established here and understood very well. Let me take you through a reaction coming in from the man of the moment, going by the exit polls, Virendra Sachdeva, the BJP's face here in Delhi.
दिल्ली की जनता को बधाई देता हूं कि दिल्ली की जनता ने बहुत प्यार और आशीर्वाद भारतीय जनता पार्टी को आज दिया और मैं अपने कार्यकर्ताओं को बहुत बधाई देता हूं कि बहुत शिद्दत और जुनून के साथ हम सब ने काम किया है और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का नेतृत्व, माननीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी का नेतृत्व, इन सब ने जो ऊर्जा हम कार्यकर्ताओं को दी है, दिल्ली में आपदा जा रही है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी आ रही है.
So now, Nabila, we are joined by Bikramjit Passi, spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party. Dr. Anil Gupta, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, will be joining me. Mr. Passi, your opening remarks on the 5 exit polls that have come: Freebies, JVC, PMark, People's Pulse, Political Diary, and I have done a bit of mathematics, rough mathematics. I have taken the mean of all of them. It's right now coming down to, and you'll be surprised, Ajit, 31 to Aam Aadmi Party, 38 to Bharatiya Janata Party in 1. If you take the mean, it's 31, 38, 1. Mr. Pasi.
Yeah, good evening to all. These exit polls are not the actual results. BJP is very happy, and this happiness will remain only up to 8th February. Because on 8th February, the results will come, the actual results will come, and you will see that Aam Aadmi Party is going to form the government. Because people of Delhi have voted for the Aam Aadmi Party, and our workers have sincerely worked for the party. Now, one thing is clear, that any exit poll has not shown us the actual numbers which we have gained in 2015, 2020. Now, kindly have a look upon these exit polls which are available today. Even these exit polls are not tally with each other. There is a margin. There is a margin of 25 seats. There is a margin of. May I continue, sir? May I continue?
Yes, you continue. I don't know why there's a problem with the line. Dr. Anil Gupta also joins me, Bharatiya Janata Party. Let me take a quick reaction from him. Dr. Gupta, खुश तो बहुत होंगे आप.
Yeah, good evening to you and all the viewers. See, we have done hard work, and I think as the exit poll is showing, we are comfortably forming the government in Delhi. If you give me time, I will explain the reason also to you.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's you've just joined. I said, "Khush to aap bahut honge." So you're saying that you've done a good job. So right now the polls are saying, but
what's really worked, Mr. Gupta?
See, we have worked on 3 strategies. Let me declare to you. First, there are 13,033 booths in Delhi. Our Panna Pramukh, our booth worker have worked very hard for last few months to expose the corruption of the Aam Aadmi Party. Second, we have told the citizen of Delhi that there is a need of double engine government in Delhi. India is achieving new milestone regularly. The economy is prospering. We have the Aishwan Yojana everywhere in the country except Delhi. So many things are there. Now the people are aware. And third one, we have exposed the regular blaming game of Kejriwal Saab and his government. You know, what blunder they done? They said Haryana is poisoning Yamuna. I mean, not in a remote, anybody can think that a state can poison Yamuna. So their blunder, their lies have been fully exposed. You know, Kejriwal Saab got more than 6 lakhs crores of rupees, the tax money from citizen of Delhi. What he has done? He has done, I mean, each project, be the liquor scam, be the STP scam, be the classroom scam, everywhere he was exposed. He claimed to be the innocent, but he's not fit for even for the CM. He said he's a CM face of Delhi. What Honorable Supreme Court has told while granting bail to him, that Kejriwal ji cannot enter the office of the CM, cannot sign the file. So he needs to be exposed, and he cannot take it granted.
Dr. Gupta, there's a question which our colleague Ajit Jha wants to ask you. Ajit, please go ahead.
अनिल गुप्ता जी, एक सवाल है. प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने जितने डिलीवरी स्कीम्स थे आपके, उन्होंने सबको एक तरह से कहा कि सब हम देंगे और इससे भी ज्यादा देंगे. डू यू थिंक वो काम किया है?
देखिए, देश में मोदी साहब जो कहते हैं वो करते हैं. अब तो पूरा विश्व मांगता है. देयर इज ए मोदी की गारंटी, एंड वी डोंट कॉल इट एज ए रेवड़ी स्कीम. We call it as a Jan Kalyankari Yojanaएं. Citizen of country pays taxes. You know, since the corona cars, the government of India is giving free ration to 81 crore citizens of Delhi. In the same way, 76 lakhs people of citizens of Delhi are getting this thing. In the corona times, Modi government has given free vaccination of 225 crores, including the 1 dose, single dose, double dose, and the booster dose. It is not a revenue. When citizen need it, more than 25 crores people are above the poverty line in last 10 years. You see, we are the 5th largest economy. So, Modi is a brand, Modi has a credibility. Whatever he says, the people of India believes, and we need the double engine government. What the Kejriwal has said? He promised to the Punjab that he would give 1,000 rupees to the woman. Not given for last 3 years. He promised before the Lok Sabha election in Delhi also, has not delivered. But we have the Ladli Behna Yojana in MP, Rajasthan and Maharashtra. Whatever we claims, why Delhi government has not allowed the Ayushman Yojana? When more than 11 crores have got benefit for the tertiary treatment, when roughly 30 crores people have been enrolled under the Ayushman Yojana, why the citizens of Delhi are deprived? This is the answer. The citizen of people need the answer.
One interesting thing is also looked into is I remember a conversation when late Arun Jaitley was having when the BJP was fighting election, they got 32. They said what is your strategy? He said among the many strategies, the most effective strategy which you are thinking of is that we are hoping that Congress can outperform everyone else. So everybody was a bit puzzled, why are you saying so? So that the better the Congress performs, the poorer the performance of Aam Aadmi Party is going to be. This election also, the Congress, if you look at the vote percentage swing from the last election to 2020, the vote percentage swing was more than 10% as far as the Congress fortune is concerned. It was reduced to 4.5. So in this particular election, I think the key dynamics is we don't know the percentage of the voter percentage Congress has as far as this particular election. If their voting percentage has risen from 4.5 to say for example 12% or 10%, seat wise they will remain the same. But that 10%, I would believe if we go by these figures only, with the caveat that if we are going by these figures only, this means that they have ate into or they have performed the role of vote cutters to a deadly effect. So the only place that they
from a rough average from the numbers that we have here, Congress's vote share is roughly about 8% tops.
So, which is more than 4% than last time. So it is like it's like an increase of 4% than last time. And if we get the final figures, if it touches 10, I think those 7-8% is what they're eating into belongs to Aam Aadmi.
And if there's anybody who's the most happy here, I think it will be the Congress.
But
without quoting anyone.
Will that make a difference? 8% of vote, 4 plus 4, 8. Will that make a difference? Because the margin of Aam Aadmi Party was roughly 10 to 15%.
But assumption.
If it is scattered, then not much. Yeah. But if it is scattered, not that much. But certainly, if in core constituencies, where almost they share the same vote bank. So in that event, yes, certainly yes. If it is a scattered vote bank, it doesn't.
So the different reason. The reason is even if there is doubling of Congress percentage vote, let's say from 4.2 to 8. What was happening, the BJP was on the rise between 2015 and 2020, 6% average. In many constituencies, 18% average. Whereas the Aam Aadmi Party was on the decline. If you remember, the Aam Aadmi Party's percentage vote came down, almost like 5% between 2015 and 2020. So a party which is on the apogee but on the decline, the BJP is rising. If the rising stays the same, that means a 6% increase, let's say average for the BJP and an increase for the Congress, which as Brijesh pointed out, will cut the AAP votes. Therefore, they'll be able to swing the 15%. So I think it makes sense.
Okay.
This basically, a vote percentage basically matters in the long run. For the party to build momentum, the Congress, if it's picking up from nothing to here,
the Congress party also made it very clear how they want to fight the election.
Rahul Gandhi did not campaign
but the Congress party,
end.
see, if you look at this, the more their biggest attack was reserved for Arvind Kejriwal. Because they also realize that, if you look at the entire trajectory.
Which is why I said the most happy here.
Absolutely, and they made no bones about it. They made no bones about it as well. It's not like they're sitting in silence saying that in off-record conversation. They've made no bones about it.
Correct.
That they will love to see Aam Aadmi Party defeated rather than to see BJP lose.
Right. A quick word. Sushil Gupta, who's reacted, the Haryana president of Aam Aadmi Party. Let's listen in. He says, we reject the exit polls.
हम ये चौथा चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं और हर एग्जिट पोल में हमारी सरकार बनती हुई नहीं दिखाई गई, परंतु रिकॉर्ड ब्रेक किए। अरविंद केजरीवाल ने दिल्ली की जनता के लिए काम किया है। दिल्ली में शिक्षा पे, चिकित्सा पे, बिजली पे, पानी पे काम किया है। महिलाओं के उत्थान के लिए काम किया है। बुजुर्गों की सेवा के लिए काम किया है। और ये चुनाव रिजल्ट देगा, आम आदमी पार्टी के पक्ष में देगा और सरकार बनेगी।
एग्जिट पोल अभी देखा है, मुझे लगता है हमारा एग्जिट पोल से भी बहुत अच्छा होने वाला है। प्रचंड बहुमत से बीजेपी की सरकार बन रही है, 27 साल बाद ही सही, मगर वापसी हो रही है। और हम एग्जिट पोल का इंतजार करेंगे, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं अभी तो एग्जिट पोल है, मगर एग्जिट पोल एग्जिट से बेहतर होगा, ऐसा मेरा विश्वास है।
Let me bring in Savio, who's with us. Savio, a quick take from you on if at all the BJP indeed comes to power as per the exit polls. Who do you think will be the chief minister? I'm only bouncing this question off you after hearing
you have reserved the toughest question to Savio.
After hearing Manoj Tiwari, he seems to be the most popular face for the BJP in Delhi. But Kartike rightly said that the BJP is known for springing surprises. The most inconspicuous person could likely be the CM of Delhi if the BJP comes to power. They are known to do that. Example, Madhya Pradesh.
Well, I believe that the BJP, if they come into power, will choose a CM candidate that will represent the people of Delhi. But I would rather not jump the gun right now, because the most important thing right now is to understand what is the changing dynamics in Delhi. One thing is certain, and that I'm 100% convinced about, and that's not on the reliance on the exit polls itself. I believe that the voter percentage of the Aam Aadmi Party is going to drop down considerably. I believe that the BJP vote share is going to increase, and it's going to increase considerably as well. Whether that translates into victory is a matter of which we will know in a couple of days. But the Aam Aadmi Party will not get the majority that it got the last time. I'm not saying they're not going to win. I'm just saying that the brutal majority that they had the last time is something they're not going to get this time. And I'll tell you why. The reason a lot of people, in my conversations with people, mostly within the lower income segment, a lot of them are actually quite fed up with the political parties and their constant complaining, in particular with the Aam Aadmi Party. And they have found the Aam Aadmi Party to be people that have resorted to theatrical politics rather than deliverance at a ground level. That is going to work against the Aam Aadmi Party. I hope the Aam Aadmi Party can look at it in an objective manner, whatever the results are, whether they win or they lose and get a lower percentage. They look at it objectively because they had the aspiration of the people when they came into power with brute majority. At this point of time, there is a question mark as far as the deliverables that they have done. But more importantly, it is their brand of politics that is not gelling with a lot of the new voters in Delhi and a lot of the people who are aspirational as far as India's growth story is concerned or Delhi's growth story is concerned. But having said that, I still repeat, like I said earlier, the real crust of the elections will be with the lower income women, and that I think is something that Aam Aadmi Party still has an advantage on. And whether BJP has been able to break that, we will only know that on the 8th of February.
Welfare scheme for women, all women to get 2,100, 2,500. AAP said 2,100, the BJP says 2,500. So they seem, and BJP in that sense has come up with a multi-pronged approach. I think the budget was their trump card.
Actually, if you
the middle class, the social welfare schemes for the poor, who have they left?
If you had seen the ads which were there in the papers yesterday, day before yesterday, if I would have put my hand like that and asked you which political party do you think these ads belong to, you would have been confused because they're also similar in terms of what they're offering to women, what they're offering to lower income group. They all look the same. That's the fact of the matter.
But Kartike, I would like to add that it would be fallacious to assume that all lower income groups are going to vote for Aam Aadmi Party also.
Correct.
Because I just received a message from one of the subordinates who stays in one of those localities, who said that I have voted for a party which will build the Delhi Meerut one and the Delhi Dehradun one because I need to go home faster.
Okay.
Now this means that they are also this aspirational. So to say that they are only happy with the freebies,
correct,
I don't agree with it.
Okay. And I know we have a bit of a surprise. I need to stump a surprise.
There has to be some twist and turn, na? So this is the twist in our show, and the twist is that this survey shows that AAP is getting 49, BJP is getting 21, and Congress is getting Zero.
Be precise.
I think the pulse people, and this is the
this is the
per
one
side. So they have the pulse of a political party. They have a pulse of another political party.
Mind break.
23
Mind
to
break.
BJP,
So, see.
0 to Congress, AAP 47, and it's to you, Nabila now.
This is always expected. Did Chanakya do the same? Chanakya also projected the opposition to be winning a
what's your
majority.
analysis?
My analysis here is that the majority, I think, will Palla Bhari is with the majority. Majority of the exit surveys show the BJP winning big.
But what most of these election surveys or these polling, this thing, we are hearing for the first time. I mean, we have been covering
Correct.
elections.
You're right.
So I'm saying pulse, people pulse, or the Vipa side or mind brain.
Yeah,
So
Vipa side, I haven't even
it all
heard of
depends
them.
on which party's pulse you have.
I think to be fair to the Aam Aadmi Party, because the previous data obviously would have depressed them. Mr. Passi, now what do you make of this? अब आप भी बड़े खुश होंगे अब आप भी बड़े खुश होंगे देखिए मुस्कुराने लगे अब मुस्कुराहट लौट के आ गई
I was laughing also. Earlier stage, I was also laughing because these are not the exact results. I can remember you the Punjab results. The exit polls were saying that we are going to get only 57 seats, but we got 92. Similar was the position in 2015, and similar was the position in 2020. Less seats were shown to us in the exit polls, but we gain more. And now, what I want to say to you, that kindly have a look upon the 2 days exit polls, which are favoring the BJP. I clearly say, there is a difference of 25 seats. One exit poll is saying that BJP is going to get 35 seats, that is Bakis. And the other exit poll is saying that BJP is going to get 60 seats, that is People's Pulse. 25 seats difference is a very big difference. Exit polls can be show difference of 2 to 4%. This is a difference of 36%. And how we can say that these can be the exact results, or these can be near to the exact results?
So Bikramjit ji, so one is right, the other is wrong. Which do you think is right and why? That's the question. We agree with you.
The question is that Aam Aadmi Party is going to get majority. Aam Aadmi Party is going to form the government. People of Delhi, well known to the fact that the BJP, and this is called as Bahut Jhutta Party, and the people know that there was a framed case, a planned case, just to malign the reputation of Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Kejriwal. Till date, not even a single rupee has been recovered, single penny has not been recovered. And moreover, everyone knows that who have committed the corruption, who has looted the money of the people, BJP is the only platform where he will be declared honest.
But Karthik, there's one thing I would like to add. I would like to go by what
Mr. Passi, we have a lot of people in the studio. Brijesh wants to ask a question.
No, I just want to make a statement, like in the sense that, what Mr. KV Prasad was saying, that, election is like, it ends, voting ends at 6 o'clock, but everyone who is in the line and inside the compound gets a chance to vote.
Correct.
So final, they go on to vote till 7 o'clock. Now for them to come out with the final figures exact sharp at 6 o'clock or 6:15 means that they would have ended their service somewhere in the range of 3 to 3:30. So, there is still a 2.5 hours of voters who have to be accounted for. I think most of the people or most of these agencies like, Access My India and a couple of others who have been a very reliable given their long, track record of getting elections right, almost 75% plus. Okay. They would wait for a longer duration. They would wait for voting to end and will try to give you as accurate figures till 5:30. And not like 3:30. And therein lies a trail, because we cannot jump to a conclusion. They may be right. I'm not talking about fluke, but going by the fact that, if you're giving me a figure like this at 6 o'clock, this means that you have called off this thing by 3:30 max. Otherwise, you cannot come up with this kind of
I just wanted to ask Mr. Bassi that, do you still believe, after seeing these exit polls, that not taking the Congress along with you was a strategic mistake? Do you think that?
Good question.
This is a very good question you asked, because when we contested together in India Alliance, we succeeded in restraining the BJP from getting majority. And it's my personal opinion. Haryana has been lost by Congress due to this mistake. I'm very clear about this. But the leadership of Congress is not disciplined leadership. The state leadership, either in Haryana or in Delhi, is responsible for that. Because the Congress, I can say, has become an fodder item for BJP. BJP, whenever required the persons, whenever required the numbers, they enter in the Congress arena, picked their leaders, and formed their government. This is the actual reason.
I was saying Rahul Gandhi till the end did not come into the campaign because he was expecting an alliance. It was precisely the local leadership of the Congress which sort of ended up, not agreeing with the alliance. Perhaps Mr. Kejriwal did not want the alliance because what you pointed out, that in Haryana, because AAP did not get the support of Congress, therefore, as a result, they said, nahi, akele ladenge. Is that correct?
Had Congress and Aam Aadmi Party contested together, the result of Haryana would have been totally different.
I think
it was totally different. I'm clear about this. Let me complete. We have seen.
I just need to hold yourself a minute.
The local leadership.
So please wait a minute, Mr. Pasi. If you look at the data of Mr. Pasi, wait a minute.
Pasi, sir, I want to catch you. My name is Pasi.
Bikramjit Pasi. Yes, Bikramjit Pasi. Just wait a minute. The total difference of vote was 1,45,000. 1,45,000 in the state of Haryana. And Haryana shifted because of micromanagement of assembly constituencies. There were more than 10 seats in which Bharatiya Janata Party logged victory, where they won by 500 to some 750 votes. There were seats of the Congress party, rebel candidates, which they won. So it was a pure case of political mismanagement, wrong candidates, people speaking out of turn, and brilliance of Bharatiya Janata Party in understanding the nuance of how assembly constituencies are to be handled. So I really don't want to compare Haryana with Delhi because that's chalk and cheese.
Even that also includes 16,000 meetings taken by the RSS in Haryana.
Yes,
I think BJP has a shadow army in the RSS. So let's not forget they have
Maharashtra,
feet on the ground like
32,000 meetings.
Right? They have a huge workforce. Apart from their own cadre, the RSS doubles up for them.
They have, but I think in Haryana, I think nobody, more than anybody winning the election, the Congress lost the election.
Correct.
So it was like the kind of harakiri they committed, and the fact that you talk of Rahul Gandhi being suave enough to not rein in or waited till last moment. What was Rahul Gandhi doing when there was an open fight between Kumari Shailja and Hooda? It was out in the open. They were not contesting Dalit,
the Congress thought it was a given in Haryana.
It was a given, absolutely.
They assumed that it would fall on them because of anti-incumbency there against them.
They thought they were winning the election. They actually thought they were winning the election.
The BJP thought they were losing the election. There were bites that were coming. BJP leaders were speaking, saying, we are confident. We will come back. But the lack of confidence was visible. Absolutely. But that said, sir, in Delhi, if anything, the Congress would have benefited from the alliance with AAP, but not AAP. They would have clearly eaten into AAP's vote share. So for AAP not to have gone into an alliance with the Congress was a smart move on their part.
I don't agree. I think the AAP would have benefited much more from a Congress alliance than the other way around. If these numbers are right, the AAP would lose today without the Congress alliance. They perhaps would have won and come back to power. Remember 2013. In 2013, the BJP was the single largest party along with Shiromani Akali Dal. But Arvind 2013.
Absolutely.
But Kejriwal formed the government.
I'll come to it. That couple of bites, that couple of reactions.
Yeah, Sandeep Dixit and Parvesh Sharma. Let's listen in.
सबसे पहले तो दिल्ली की जनता का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं कि उन्होंने इतने भारी उत्साह के साथ में मतदान किया और ये निश्चित है कि 8 तारीख को कमल खिलेगा क्योंकि इतना भारी मतदान ये केवल बदलाव के लिए है, ये दिल्ली को अच्छा बनाने के लिए है, दिल्ली के अच्छे भविष्य के लिए है। तो मैं सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं।
अब इंतजार करते हैं 8 तारीख का और अच्छा हम लोगों ने चुनाव लड़ा है। जिस कांग्रेस को दिल्ली में कुछ नहीं समझा जाता था उसने सारी समीकरण बदले हैं और अगर आप सारे समीकरण बदलने के स्तर पर आते हैं तो फिर आदमी कहीं भी जा सकता है।
2013 के एग्जिट पोल ने हमें हराया, 2015 के एग्जिट पोल ने हमें हराया, 2020 में फिर हमें कम सीटों पे आंका गया और 2025 में भी पहले के हिसाब से हमारी सीटें कम दिखाई जा रही हैं। मुझे लगता है कि आम आदमी पार्टी को एग्जिट पोल हमेशा कम आंकते रहे हैं और उसका बड़ा कारण ये है कि आम लोगों की जो आवाज़ है वो अक्सर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के जो दबंग हैं वो दबाते हैं। डराया जाता है, धमकाया जाता है, तो एक आम आदमी अपनी बात एग्जिट पोल पे नहीं कहता, उसको डर रहता है। इसलिए तमाम एग्जिट पोल जब जब आम आदमी पार्टी का सर्वे करते हैं वो गलत पाए जाते हैं।
All right, well, we've got most of those voices there. Let me bring in Anil Gupta, BJP spokesperson, who's also with us. Mr. Anil Gupta, the last two surveys, that's Mindbrink and We Preside, both have suggested that Aam Aadmi Party is going to be sweeping. Your take on this?
Let me just tell you our strategy. You know, recently in the last Lok Sabha election that was held in May 2024, just 8 months have passed. We won roughly 55% of vote share. We clearly won 52 assembly seats in the Lok Sabha election. And on the 3 election, we were edge to edge.
Okay.
That particular day, we targeted 55 plus. The same, you know, our Panna Parmukh, our booth Karyakartas were same. And for last 8 months, we vigorously worked on that, our booth. And that's why this is the exit poll result. I am not denying any exit poll, but I am confident that we aimed for 55 plus, and not on the basis of, just on the basis of the work of our workers, but the visionary leadership provided by Narendra Modi ji. Modi ji has a credibility. You know, we have delivered the Ladli Behna Yojana in other states, whereas they failed in Punjab. So you cannot fool the citizen of Delhi. No doubt, we targeted 55 plus.
Rich party.
And, pardon?
You're a cash-rich party.
No. If you see the balance sheet, Congress has just constructed their headquarters at the cost of more than 300 crores. And you know, and you see the balance sheet of the Aam Aadmi Party. And I'm telling you, Delhi, Kejriwal Saab has misused more than 6 lakh crores of rupees.
But Mr. Gupta, if the ADR report is to be believed, the BJP is miles ahead when it comes to political funding. Declared political
and that is a natural thing, you know. I mean, any party in power of growing and having government,
there is no comparison.
We are the largest party in the world. We have a membership of more than 18 crores. Even Karyakarta like me and other Karyakarta contribute to the parties. So we have to be. And we naturally, when it is a big party, we give some donation to the party. So we have to be there. And you know, we don't just hit ideals. You see the Corona cause. All party workers run the rasoi, the community kitchen. We are into the social service. Our aim is to serve the nation, not just to get the majority or rule the government. Our aim is to do social service. Our aim is to make the India the foremost in the world. हमारे लिए देश प्रथम है, पार्टी बाद में आती है, सब लास्ट आता है. ये सच्चाई है. हमें कभी नहीं सिखाया गया.
आपका यहाँ कोई चेहरा है गुप्ता जी जो आप हाईलाइट करना चाहते हो, बीजेपी का चेहरा जो दिल्ली में अगर आप यहाँ सरकार में आए?
I am not so competent to say this thing on you, but definitely on 8th of February, we will come out with something. It is one more thing. We are a democratic party. We are not a dictator party like Kejriwal sir. The MLAs, our central leadership will choose. And definitely, a party Karyakarta, party worker, the MLA will be the CM of Delhi.
All right. Mr. Gupta, stay with us. As for all the other guests, we're going to slip into a short break. We'll be right back with a lot more on the numbers to try and decode the poll of polls on the other side.
Mama must be missing us, na?
Let's take you on base, give me one day. Feel the itch under my skin, it's a fun day. You been like it when you see it, we end up, hey. It doesn't matter, just gotta get going.
New GT line, Taigun and Virtus. Volkswagen.
It's decision time in Delhi.
Will BJP return to power after 26 years?
Can Aam Aadmi Party beat the odds and gain a fourth term? Will the Congress finally be able to reverse its fortunes in these polls?
An existential battle for all three parties right here in the national capital.
Have freebies, corruption and toxic Yamuna set the narrative? What's the Aam Aadmi's mood in Delhi? Polls in Delhi, but national impact.
All angles on the Delhi votes covered here.
Covered right here. Covered here.
At News 9.
And I'm falling
For you like crazy. Ah, boom, boom. Every heartbeat is only for you. Every breath, every moment with you.
Shall we do it again?
My heart goes boom.
Unlimited Love. Bookings open on 14th February.
आपदा वालों को भगाना है इस बार भाजपा सरकार बनाना है
आपदा दिल्ली में नहीं आई, आपदा भाजपा में आई।
जो बेईमान होता है वही अपने आप को सर्टिफिकेट देता है।
So welcome back. We have shown you more than 5 exit polls, and all the 5 exit polls, one thing is very clear. One, there is no hung Delhi assembly. Second, the clarity is that either the AAP comes to power with clean numbers or Bharatiya Janata Party, and for the first time after 27 years, you have Matrice, JVC, PMARC, People's Pulse, Political Diary. These are the exit polls which are giving straight numbers to Bharatiya Janata Party. There are 2 other exit polls. They are giving number to Aam Aadmi Party. Couple of exit polls are going to come tomorrow. Now let me draw back this discussion, certain political issues. This election was fought on an issue of Chief Minister's residence called Sheesh Mahal. Then Yamuna became an issue, and let's talk about the narrative war which happened.
Yeah.
Then the liquor policy became an issue, AQI became an issue, and then the infrastructure and other issues became. And then the brand Kejriwal was the issue. Now, Brijesh, which issue dominated the most? Corruption, Yamuna, AQI, brand Kejriwal. What was the singular narrative on which the Delhi election was functioning, or the pulse, the heartbeat of it?
I think it was a mix of liquor and because if you remember, you know, the emergence of Arvind Kejriwal was on the anti-corruption plank. There were many leaders there at the dais, you know, and Anna Hazare took a fast and to death to remove, and Congress suffered perhaps its most debilitating political defeat till now. And Arvind Kejriwal was the rising star at that point of time, went on to win election and become an extremely powerful political foe, or rather the only regional leader, head of a regional party which is challenging Modi like anything. But what has happened is that, you know, the liquor case dented that somehow. And the reason I'm saying somehow is because, you know, in the other elections, we didn't see a cascading effect of that which hit Aam Aadmi Party in a big way. Then when Sheesh Mahal came, and you know what, the projection of those videos of, you know, massive, bathrooms and, you know, splurge which was there, ACs, TVs and all. So it was all right for Aam Aadmi Party to say that, you know, every chief minister's residence is like that. But for someone who has prophesied, someone who have lived, claimed that they will not travel in more than a Maruti 800, you know, the USP was the Aam Aadmi. And the pictures which were shown was a complete departure from what was
why did that USP break in this election? This could have been... Let me be the devil's advocate here. This USP could have been broken.
No, that is the reason why I'm saying that this time, I don't know who is going to form the government. But I personally feel that this time the BJP had the best chance in the last 15 years to form the government or come or
Mr. KV Prasad has not spoken for a long time. KV, do you concur with Brijesh Pandey that this is BJP's best shot to power in 27 years?
Well, that is the way the entire strategy was crafted right from day one. If you look at the last 3 years, the BJP has been homing in on a couple of issues on, as I said in the beginning, chip away from the very base of Aam Aadmi Party, which was the USP I said in the beginning, was the anti-corruption flank. So best is hit at the one of the most strongest points. dent as much as possible, because that's going to, and what is politics? Politics is the art of perception, how you build a perception. And that's the perception, as I said, the middle classes, which backed Aam Aadmi Party in 2013, riding on that crest of Anna Hazare anti-corruption wave, India against corruption movement, we've all seen that there in Jantar Mantar and much later in Ramlila. So that was the crescendo which resulted in 2013 and 2015, the landslide victory. I think all that changed. That is a fact. So BJP strategy was very, very clear. Attack the most strongest points of the Aam Aadmi Party, and obviously bring in the liquor policy, which became controversial, and also the fact that the Aam Aadmi Party withdrew from it. They actually, so that gave BJP a very good handle to push forward and say, look, if it was okay, they could have stuck with it. So these are political points. The BJP, very rightly, as a political party in opposition, played upon it. But Karthik, I would like to come back to one issue which was hearing, if not now, maybe a little later. I don't think politics 2 + 2 will begin 4. Just because Aam Aadmi Party and Congress don't go together, they would have worked wonders. I don't think, if you look at Haryana figures, they didn't add up. Maybe a one or odd seat. The Aam Aadmi Party actually got a seat which could have made a difference to Congress. If that was the case, Punjab Lok Sabha was a classic example where they didn't go together. Or 2018 Gujarat, where the Congress was very near to come back to, to at least they were almost 90 and 90 plus. The Aam Aadmi Party contested, and then, so I don't think it's linear.
I know it's not linear, but there is also, a bigger issue which we'll continue to discuss. Its implication, Nabila, for the regional parties. Because when Congress lost Haryana, it was between two national parties. But what Bharatiya Janata Party with alliance partners have done, it smashed Sharad Pawar's party, it smashed Uddhav Thackeray's party, it smashed Congress in Maharashtra. If it does this in Delhi, then my question to you and everyone present in this discussion, and whoever wants to come can speak on it first, what will be the implication of this victory if Bharatiya Janata Party wins for the regional parties? I
just have to add to this, to what you're saying. Classic example in Karnataka, the JDS at this point is really struggling for survival. And I think the reason being that they decided to go with the NDA, with the BJP, get into an alliance for the last Lok Sabha elections. I think that was detrimental, if anything. I feel the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi is looking at the same while considering allying with the Congress, because whatever said, the Congress is a much bigger national party. The AAP is still considered a regional party, though it has national ambitions.
No, AAP is a national party.
It is. In paper it is, in principle it is. But my point is that, the perception, since that's the game, perception-wise, they still considered a regional party at this point. So I feel allying with a national party like the Congress, or a party that's more robust, and a legacy party like the Congress, is actually detrimental for a regional party. Like JDS was almost wiped out in Karnataka. I feel Kejriwal now.
I take this argument. I take this argument a little broad also. You can pick any strand of it.
Yeah.
There are regional parties who have defeated Bharatiya Janata Party. Trinamool has done it. DMK has done it. Plain and simple. Aam Aadmi Party is the only national party without a regional basis. Though they started in Delhi, but unlike Mamta, who represented Bengali pride, or the Dravidian pride of Stalin, or Telugu Bidda of Nara Lokesh and his father, this is a different party. That is why it's threatening to the other political parties like the Congress party. I am saying that, does it change the game for other regional parties or not?
I would not say. I would say not, because there's always a tyranny of distance. Like if something happens in Delhi, you can have 50 OBs and 500 reporters covering it and acquiring this thing. But if something happens in Northeast, though even of immense consequence, it hardly gets a coverage. I think the reason why we're discussing is that because it is happening in Delhi. A, B, I would say that because Aam Aadmi Party is something, or say rather Arvind Kejriwal is something who has positioned himself as a David versus Goliath battle right since inception. So it acts that way. I honestly don't think that this particular election, win or loss, is going to have any kind of national implication whatsoever. we can say that Congress lost because it didn't add up or tied up with Aam Aadmi Party, as the Aam Aadmi Party spokesman was trying to say. I don't believe that. The Congress lost because the Congress lost, not because of any tie-up or lack of tie-up. The same way I would say that if we go by the same logic, then would he agree that the AAP committed a suicidal mistake by not going with the Congress party? That would also be a lie. Because Aam Aadmi Party is a party which is very nimble-footed. They fight, they practice guerrilla-like politics in Delhi, and they're far more organized than Congress, which is a scattered party all over. You don't know, what Ajay Makan is doing. Sandeep Dixit is considered the son of Sheila Dixit, and one of the early practitioners championing, saying that we should fight against Aam Aadmi Party. But these are lone warriors who are fighting or picking up cudgels on behalf of Congress. So
what Karthike was asking was a very more ambitious question, broader question. You see, what has happened since 2014, we saw the surge, saffron surge in this country, which kind of in 2024 came to a check in the Lok Sabha of 2024. And I think BJP learnt a lesson from that. All the mistakes that it was committing, it is not committing since then. Look at Maharashtra, look at Haryana. Now, if these numbers are right, Delhi, except for Jharkhand, it seems that the BJP seems to have one mistake it was making, not relying on the RSS. Now, we see in all these three elections, in Haryana, in Maharashtra, now in Delhi.
Just to add on to that, I just want to say the fundamental difference between BJP and Congress is that BJP has never compromised with its growth when it comes to its expansion as a party, whereas Congress surrendered to the allies, so much so that the regional parties have started dominating and Congress became a marginal player. BJP waits and watches. Imagine they had a lovely relationship with Biju Patnaik, but when the time came to strike, they, sidelined him, and now they are in power. The same thing is going to happen in Bihar also.
It was the Biju Patnaik, it's not Biju, it was Naveen Patnaik who called up the relationship. Look at the example of JNK. Look at the example of JNK. They went and formed government with Mehbooba Mufti, who, what Atal Bihari Vajpayee said, everyone knows. And they were completely ideologically apart. But if you want to push for expansion, the merger... I agree with the principle of the argument. I was just saying in the context of Odisha, it was different.
Naveen Patnaik sensed what was happening. He knew that there was a lot of transfer of votes.
But it was touched too late, I think.
It was a little too late. He knew what was happening. The BJP was eating into its vote share. He decided to call it quits at that point. Either way, BJP came to power.
And believe me, they are waiting for the Nitish Kumar era to end. Then after that, it will be BJP.
Yeah.
They are not going to give it to Nitish's successor.
No, there's going to be no.
That's long term. That's long term. But this surge of the BJP post 2024, if they win Delhi, most likely they are going to win again with an alliance in Bihar. You'll see this surge continuing. What we assumed in 2024, the end of Modi magic, is taking another recourse. That is interesting if the Delhi election is won by the BJP.
The question would be, which I have, which I'll ask after the break is there a change in idiom? Because people used to say when we talk about Bharatiya Janata Party, it is Mandir, Market and Mobile. All of them come together. Has Modi changed his idiom of politics after 2024? But that's for that's a separate debate. I think you have a couple of reactions.
we have Ramesh Bidhuri and Satish Upadhyay. Let's listen into their reactions.
मोदी जी की वेव देश में जो विकास हुआ है उसी प्रकार से दिल्ली चाहती कि दिल्ली में विकास हो, दिल्ली वाले चाहते। हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं की मेहनत, हमारे नेतृत्व की मार्गदर्शन के साथ साथ स्ट्रेटेजी, उसके एवज में ऊब गए दिल्ली वाले केजरीवाल जी से। तो इसीलिए ये जो एग्जिट पोल आ रहे हैं, मैं इन पर भी विश्वास नहीं, इनसे और आगे जाएगा। भारतीय जनता पार्टी 50 को क्रॉस करेगी।
मैं तो दो ही लाइनों में इसको कह सकता हूं कि झाड़ू के तिनके बिखर गए हैं और कीचड़ में कवल दिल्ली में खिल रहा है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरी तरह से 70 कमल के साथ दिल्ली में सरकार बना रही है, लेकिन मैं ये जानता हूं कि 70 कमल हम खिलाएंगे और उसमें से हम एक मेजॉरिटी के साथ निश्चित रूप से दिल्ली में सरकार बनेगी।
The Bharatiya Janata Party leaders are pretty upbeat. They're very happy. Bikramjit continues to be with me. Dr. Anil Gupta continues to be with me. Savio Rodriguez continues to be with me. Mr. Jha is in studio. Professor Suresh is with me. Brijesh Pandey is with me. Nabila is with me. And KV Prasad is with me. This is going to be an ongoing discussion. But coming back to the moot point of Delhi, Suresh, this question is to you. Do you think that BJP will breach the fortresses of Aam Aadmi Party in East Delhi this time around? Because those are the fortress areas. Do you think that this breach is taking place there in the Purvanchali voters, which became the backbone of the Aam Aadmi Party?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please remember one thing.
Mayur Vihar, Patparganj.
Absolutely. The reason is that the BJP very clearly identified the two USPs of the Aam Aadmi Party. One, the clean, squeaky clean image of Kejriwal, which has been dented. Not only BJP, even the Congress was referring to, Rahul Gandhi was also referring to Sheesh Mahal. Second, the freebies. Please remember that East Delhi also has a sizable government employees, sizable number of government employees. So you have the 8th pay commission, you have that income tax thing. They are all going to weigh in the minds of the voters when they go to cast their vote. So to say that the fortresses are going to remain, how much the impact is going to be there, that remains to be seen. But nevertheless, it is going to be very visible, the kind of dent that BJP has made on these two USPs of the Aam Aadmi Party.
Any reason why BJP didn't give a CM candidate, Suresh?
I think that it has been the pattern in the last couple of, whether it is Maharashtra, whether it is Haryana, they will always, and then they did not want, wanted all the aspirants to work unitedly for the victory of the party first, because if they had started that, triggered that debate earlier, it would have led to divisions in the
country. I also think it's more of a lack of faith.
No. What has happened?
For example, I just in Maharashtra, they did push Eknath Shinde as the CM face. They fought elections on his name. Only when the BJP, in fact, got a sweeping lead, did they decide that Fadnavis should be the chief minister. But until then, Eknath Shinde was projected to be the CM face.
But that was the NDA.
NDA. Yes. But here there is a lack of faith.
Kiran Bedi was announced as chief ministerial candidate. They suffered a very sorry
loss. Even Sushma Swaraj, much before.
Sushma Swaraj was
in Delhi.
Then Manoj Tiwari was made the face of the Delhi BJP Delhi. They lost badly.
I have a very simple answer to this.
They don't have a face.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I have a very simple answer. See, there are two choices in Delhi, right? BJP versus AAP, Mr. Modi versus Mr. Kejriwal. You smash Kejriwal, Modi wins. That's the formula that the BJP has.
On this note, I'm closing this program. It's time for a break, but please don't go away, because when we come back at 8, we will have poll of polls, a decisive data in front of you to decipher what's going to happen on Saturday.